Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. That's too sweet. Anyway, the last of my division predictions for the 2025-26 NHL season. And this is probably the weakest division in the league. I know a lot of people say it is. I'm not going to disagree. Outside your top two, everybody else is just kind of there. And for me, this is kind of sad because your Seattle Kraken are in this division. And, well, I don't want to give away too much, but let's just say they're not in the top two. I mean, as weak as this division is, though, it has produced 3 of your last Stanley Cup finalists, including the 2023 Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, the last 2 haven't won the Cup. But either way, I'm here to talk about my division predictions for this upcoming season, and feel free to give me your predictions if you want to. Let me know if you think I'm out to lunch. Let me know if I'm spot on, if you agree. I'd love to hear it, but either way, here's my 2025-26 Pacific Division predictions. Let's talk about it. So again, the Pacific Division, outside your top 2, it's pretty much just throw darts at the dartboard and see who sticks and call it that. I mean, having said that, though, I'm pretty sold at least 4 of the 8 spots in this division. Now, if we need a refresher on how last season went, it went a bit like this. And really, the key for this division in the last couple seasons has been, it's been very predictable. A lot of the rematches from the playoffs came in the Pacific Division. I think this year, though, some of them are still very predictable, but you're going to have some change. Not a lot, but going from 8 to 1. Here's my picks for this season's Pacific Division. So, obviously, finishing 8th, again, is the San Jose Sharks. But it's not all bad. I mean, this is the part of the rebuild where you see some growth amongst the players you have in the lineup. And when you got guys like Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, and William Eklund, who are all growing and developing players who are going to be really, really good one day, that's never a bad thing. But also adding some of the veteran presence on top of already having Toffoli, you got Skinner, you got Orlov, you got Klingberg, Leddy, and Gaudette. All through free agency, add in Askarov, who should be ready to be their number 1 starter, with Nedeljkovic. It's pretty solid for, on paper anyways, and, you know, when they do get back to their winning ways, it'll be a great thing to see. San Jose's paper on roster, you look at it in 4 or 5 years, it could be scary good, just not at the moment. So finishing number 7 is your Seattle Kraken. And yeah, it pains me to have them this low. But going into the season, we're already on the injury bug. I mean, with the changes made and the additions made, there's a sense of optimism. I mean, bringing in guys like Goudreau and Marchment, that's never bad. But, you know, Stevenson and, you know, and Montour were supposed to be game changers, but that didn't really seem to do much. And I'm not 100% confident in Lane Lambert as new head coach, but I am confident in guys like Matty Beniers, Shane Wright, Joey Decord. They're all going to advance and get better as players. Grubauer, obviously, the elephant in the room, but this is his last contract year, so see how that goes, right? Either way, while I want good things for my boys, I know this year's not the year, and, you know, being year 5, no pressure, right? So taking number 6, I got the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, obviously the biggest question mark outside Quinn Hughes is going to be Elias and Demko. And I mean, losing Silovs was not a good thing. I mean, that was a solid backup goalie for Demko. You know, you could have threw him in the number 1 spot if Demko was not healthy. But with the struggles and troubles that the Canucks had last season, this should be the point where they move on from that, right? But bringing in Adam Foote as the coach, you're almost setting yourself up for getting ready for the rebuild. And who knows, maybe Quinn Hughes isn't a Canuck by the end of the season, but that's taking a wild stab in the dark, right? But one has to hope in the case of Elias that he has that bounce back season and has wanted to be a true superstar for the Canucks written all over him, and only thing on his mind this season, because if not, it could be a long time in Vancouver for Elias. But one important thing to remember when it comes to Canucks, this is not the same team that won the Pacific Division almost 2 years ago. Keep that in mind. So number 5, I'm going Calgary. So really, Calgary did nothing to improve in the offseason. Didn't make too many big moves. So essentially, it's the same Flames roster that you had last season. And one hopes Dustin Wolf is going to improve on his Calder Trophy nominated season. But while they didn't add anything, they didn't really get any worse. I mean, you got to think guys like Coronado and Zari are going to take huge steps forward in terms of becoming better players. And while I hope the Flames can, at least try to get to the playoffs, make, the possibility of another Battle of Alberta a reality, because, Battle of Alberta hockey is actually pretty damn good. I have to worry about, maybe the health bug. The health bug seems to hit everybody, and maybe it's Calgary's turn this year. But either way, I think a solid 5 is a good choice for them. Going out of left field here, picking the Anaheim Ducks. Now, while I'd love to say wild card spot for these guys, I don't think they will finish a wild card spot. But Anaheim did a lot to get better. I mean, yeah, they got rid of Zegras and Gibson, but those were 2 moves that were going to happen regardless. Like, obviously now this is Lucas Dostal's team, and that shouldn't be an issue, especially when you add guys like Granlund, Kreider, and Poling. Solid additions to your offensive line. Add Mason McTavish, freshly re-signed to an extension. You should see a lot of confidence coming out of that kid. Add in, you already got guys like Carlson, Zellweger, and Lacombe, who are only going to get better, especially with Lacombe getting, re-signed to his extension. And, Anaheim could be good. They could be on the cusp of actually building a competitive team again. It only took a couple of years, but when they're ready to make the playoffs, they'll let you know. So to feed the tedium, I got LA finishing 3rd. And while it really doesn't feel like they did much to improve, I mean, they did add Perry, CC, Armia, and Dumoulin to the roster that really didn't change much. I mean, they lost Gavrikov, Janot, Spence, and Riddick, but is losing Riddick a bad thing? I don't think so. I mean, in terms of really adding much, they didn't really have to. I mean, Byfield's only getting better. And this being Kopitar's last season, who knows what LA is going to do for an encore performance for their captain. Add on top of that, Doughty is nowhere near done. He's still performing at a great defensive level. That and, being run by Ken Holland, ran the Red Wings, ran the Oilers. This shouldn't be a bad thing. So change might come to LA during the season, and it might only be changed for the better. But this is one of those picks that I could be totally wrong on, but I feel comfortable putting them at number 3. So not quite winning the Pacific Division, I got the Edmonton Oilers. So the last 2 seasons, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Is this the year it changes? Again, I'm not predicting the playoffs. I'm not even close to picking the Stanley Cup winner right now. But you have to think, if they want to keep Connor in the lineup on the Oilers for as long as possible, this has to be the year that they make that push and actually get past the finish line. Unfortunately, they're without Hyman until at least November. But does that change anything for McDavid or Draisaitl? No. Add in Mangiapane, who I think is going to only help the offense. And even Isaac Howard. Yeah, Howard's a rookie, but I'm hearing good things. Out of what they lost this season, I mean, I could see losing Connor Brown making a huge difference, but it's the Oilers. They'll find ways to get scoring out of someone else. The problem with the Oilers, though, and it will be until they finally solve the problem, is goaltending. Skinner or Pickard? I mean, yeah, you got Ingram in the offseason, but is Ingram going to the farm, or is he going to be a solid number 3? Once they figure out the goaltending problem, once they figure out how to tinker this roster to be Stanley Cup winners instead of Stanley Cup finalists, it'll be a great thing to see, but is this the year? So winning the Pacific Division and my prediction to win the President's Trophy, the Vegas Golden Knights. And it's more just than winning the Mitch Marner sweepstakes, which they were always going to do, right? But you add Mitch Marner, his 100-point season as a Maple Leaf, to a team that already has Jack Eichel, Thomas Hertl, Mark Stone, Ivan Barbashev, And Pavel Dvoriev, oh, your solid 6 in terms of offense is scary. No Peter Angelo, no problem. You still got Hannafin, you still got Theodore, and you brought in Jeremy Lauzon. So you're doing okay. Expect Aiden Hill to have a career year for the Vegas Golden Knights. This team is just built too strong. It's always been built too strong. Even the year they missed the playoffs, they were too strong. But again, I think they're going to have that good of a season that'll be able to turn that into a President's Trophy. Bold prediction? Maybe. But legit. And that was my 2025-26 Pacific Division predictions for the 25-26 NHL season. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm out to lunch. Let me know if you agree or if my picks are solidly placed. I'd love to hear it. So that was another one of them Trev's Hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in, especially if you've made it to this point. If you've made it here, congratulations. You've made it right to the end, and I'm very proud of you for it. You're helping my watch time immensely, and that's never a bad thing. But if you made it to this point, if you're digging what I'm doing, you just want to say, hey, feel free to throw me a thumbs up. Trust me, the thumbs up gives me a lot more exposure than the watch time does. So I'll take anything to get myself across to a hockey following volume and network. If you want to, if you haven't done so by now, that red button that says subscribe all over it, come on, you know you want to hit it. I know you want to hit it. The algorithm knows you want to hit it. And we're making that push to 500 by the end of the year. We're so close to 350, I can taste it. To everybody that's come along for the ride, I want to thank you very much. I do appreciate the fact that you're here, that you're enjoying my content and letting me talk hockey and letting you listen. It's a great thing. If you want to, that link in my description below, that'll take you to my Facebook page. Feel free to join that. I'd love to build the audience there like I'm building the audience here. I'm fairly interactive in it, and I'd love to make this, I'd love to have solid ideas bounce off that page. So moving forward, all the division predictions are finally done. So at whatever point this reaches you, hope you have a great season. And moving forward, well, I got a Stanley Cup ring prediction coming, so look for that. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, Bill from Trev. Later.